Child, Meemaw knew that black folks wasn't supposed to be at the No Kings rally more than black folks knew they wasn't supposed to be at the No Kings rally. You know what I'm talking about? Hold on a minute.
Seems like there's a lack of diversity here today. That it's mostly people who look like you and I, and I just
This is not for black people, for people of color to get out on the street. They're at risk when they do that. If anybody's going to get arrested here, it's going to be a black person. It is not safe for them, and they don't need to participate. We need to walk in their name.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, okay. What do you think about voter ID? Do you think it's racist?
It's 100% a tactic to control the population and prevent people from voting, so that the only votes so that the gerrymandering can work, so that white voters can vote in white Christian males.
Have you been voting blue most of your life?
I voted blue in the womb.
Ah, wonderful.
Yeah.
If you had to vote for a Republican, J.D. Vance or Rubio, which one would you pick if you had to?
Yeah. I would slit my throat.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, because of the way that we as black people are just made, it's hard for us to sit back and let somebody else do something. You always got to feel like you're doing something. But we got the right idea. It was not that many people out there we're not supposed to be. Let them handle it. They got it. It's time for us to give them the baton. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, and I hope you have the day you deserve.
Is basically a valid point to make about the whole King thing. Here's a question that I saw, did not realize until it hit the news a lot, was that it was very white.
Okay.
What do you make of that? That the guy in Baltimore, the paper there said, we struggled our photographer to find a picture of black people in this march. I'm okay with that. I didn't go, and I feel like, well, you talk. Well, we had a meeting. Yeah, go ahead. Yes. And let's just say it didn't go too well for white folks, that's all.
Why the fuck were y'all looking at black people to be at the No Kings protest? We literally let the people them know before the election what the fuck was going to happen. We knew about Project 2025, and y'all thought we was just yapping. And the reason y'all thought we was just yapping, because motherfuckers did not expect for the suffrage to be past black people and immigrants. So now that people see that the suffrage is countrywide and not just race and immigrant wide, now you looking for us to motherfucking be out there with y'all? Nah. Especially not the 92%. Nah, we chilling. That's not to say that we don't give a fuck about what happens to this country. It's to say that the people who were out there marching didn't give a fuck about what happened to this country. What do you guys think about this video? Leave me a comment. Let's talk about it. And don't forget to hit the follow button. Toodles.
Paper there said we struggled our photographer to find a picture of black people in this march.
When you're black, you're never really lonely, because there will always be a white person all up in your business.
No King's Day! No freaking King! No Kings in the USA! No King's Day! Woo! Yeah! No King's Day! What are we gonna do to the king?
Gonna shut him down.
How are we gonna shut him down?
Impeachment.
If there's impeachment, that means there's a Congress and Donald Trump can't be a king.
Right.
Right. Why is Donald Trump a king?
Because he's nuts.
He smells funny.
For real?
Is that a question?
Because he has repeatedly overused his
He's trying to abuse this world and try to make this place all about him.
Why are you asking this? You know the answer.
What's the answer?
You know it.
What is it?
You know the answer.
So many people showed up.
Imagine if they showed up like this for Kamala.
People showed up for Kamala.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go? Nope.
What is one action that Donald Trump took that is impossible to do under the Constitution, but he did it anyway?
I can't name specific laws, I'm sorry.
I lost a lot of thought on that.
You're a reporter, so why don't you do your homework? Don't ask me.
Went to war.
Legally, he could do that.
You can?
Oh. Putting ice in our cities.
Legally, he could put ice in cities.
I don't really give a about legally. Rename the Kennedy Center.
Which amendment under the Constitution is he prohibited to renaming the Kennedy Center?
I refer you to the New York Times 2 days ago. They had a list of 30 items.
And you read it?
I read it, absolutely.
So what is one thing from that list?
One thing from that list is I'm blanking.
I did not fully read it. I've got it. I've read excerpts.
Okay, Fox, you guys need to do more of this. I mean, I think this is a great example because, I mean, they're out there at the protest, right? And when I say I think this is a good example, I think it's a good example of ignorant Democrat voters and how Democrats prey on people's ignorance. These people cannot tell you how Trump is a king. They just know that Trump is a king. And they know they hate him and he's bad and he's got to go. Again, this is what Democrats do. They rile their base up emotionally. There's not much substance with Democrats. It typically comes down to like Trump hate, hate for Republicans, and hate for billionaires. But again, if we let these people take power, these are the people that will take power and will decide what politicians go into office and control our country if we let them. Do not let these people control our country. Anyway, that's all I've got for now. Don't forget I have a free email newsletter. That's the best place to get direct information from me. I send out news updates every day around 7 a.m. Central. The link to that is in my profile. Click that link, drop your email in, hit subscribe, and you'll be good to go.
I'm asking myself, why black Americans are not showing up at the No King protest? So this is the question has sparked a lot of debate online. Even people like Maher are talking about it. But the real story is this. This story is real deeper than what many think. Some voices are saying this is not silence. It's a choice. And it is a decision to step back, to rest and to protect themselves after years of fighting on front line. In this video, we are going to break down what's really going on and why this moment matters more than ever. Before I continue, I want to give credit to all original creators of TikTok clips used in this video. All clips belong to the respective creator and are used here for complimentary news report and education purpose only.
The No Kings protest turned out millions of people across the world. That's a big, big deal. But what the fuck were y'all protesting for? No Kings? What were your demands? What were you asking of the governments in all these countries? What were you asking for? This is why black people sit there. A lot of black people sat out and looked at y'all like y'all was crazy because y'all showing up in droves with signs and everything. Great. But what were you asking for? What was the point? What? To just show up in droves and march and say, we don't want a king, we don't want fascism, we don't want this? What was the directives behind it? When black people marched for George Floyd, we wanted police reform. We made that very fucking clear. We made our demands very fucking clear. Ahmaud Arbery, we made that very fucking clear. Breonna Taylor, very fucking clear. Tamir Rice, very fucking clear. Trayvon Martin, very fucking clear. Voting rights. Marching on Selma, very fucking, the boycott for the butt, very fucking clear. This is why we look at y'all like y'all crazy, because y'all really thought y'all did something. These people that y'all fighting against, they really don't give a fuck about those numbers. They look at that shit, they be like, oh, it's a little scary, but they're just going back to their regular shit after. There's no demands. Y'all made no fucking demands. Everybody's marching in their own cities, in their own countries, had their own different plans. It was nice, but it didn't do shit. It won't do shit. Because everybody's message is not the same. Everybody's marching for something different. Every city was looking for something different. There's no action plan after the No Kings protest. There wasn't no consequences after the No Kings protest. Everybody went home. It was a great performance. It was a great block party, but what did it actually do? White people have never really had to fight for shit in their life. They protested Vietnam because most of them was high as fuck. They needed something to fight for. I want real change in these protests. Y'all need to put people who actually fight, who actually march, who actually fight against the system, like black folks. But I doubt at this point they'll even come out to help y'all.
So after the whole No Kings protest just went on this previous week, I just seen a whole bunch of goofiness that was happening in that protest. It was basically an anti-Trump protest, right? So as of right now, I feel like I'm just going to give people dumbass awards with Red Foreman. So basically, the first person who's going to get the first dumbass award is Robert De Niro and Al Sharpton. What the fuck is y'all old asses doing out there anyways? Like, bro, come on, bro. You're a dumbass. We have this lady right here. To the black Democrats and the Hispanic Democrats and whatnot, this is the person that y'all gonna die for? Like, come on, fam. You guys are dumbasses just as well. Now, the people with the Iranian flag, right? I really want to know why. Because the Ayatollah in them, they move just like a monarchy. And then whenever the people stood up against them, right? What did they do in January? They shut off the internet and they killed around 40 to 50,000 of their people. Young people. People that were just standing up for themselves because they're tired of their bullshit. But yet, you guys are protesting Trump. Dumbasses. There's actually a country, right, that gets 2 awards. They get a dumbass of the day and a donkey of the day, and that's the United Kingdom, UK, Brits, whatever, bro. Those guys currently have a king and queen, currently have somebody who's in line, they have Dutch fam. There's like a whole family tree. So if this one dies, this next one's here. This one, like, fam, instead of trying to fit in, right? Instead of trying to be fucking posers, why don't you guys do that for yourselves? Because as of right now, the UK has an infestation of a lot of immigrants from other countries taking over their country, right? Like, as of right now, the top 5 names in the UK around that area is Muhammad, fam. Come on, bro. Y'all, you guys are donkeys, bro. And I know it's not all of them, because a lot of them talk to me about it. They say it's the liberals doing that. Y'all let the liberals really dictate what y'all got going on. That's why y'all want donkey and dumbass of the day.
Hee-haw, you stupid motherfucker.
What's up, family? Last week, the No Kings protest against Donald Trump, your president, went down last week. And Bill Maher made an interesting note. He said it was very white. And he asked his guest, Michael Steele, why so? You know, why is it? What was the black folks? And Michael Steele said, well, we had a meeting. I ain't got no problem with that. Yeah, man, y'all broke it, y'all fix it. As if y'all didn't know it was gonna go down like that. Why is it that every time there's a problem in America, even if black folks ain't got nothing to do with it, they wanna put it on black folks. They don't care nothing about us until there's a problem, right? They don't care. I mean, you can even look at times of crisis, right? When there's a time of crisis, all of a sudden, we're all on the same team. When 9/11 happened, when they hit the Twin Towers, when our government, the mother people hit the Twin Towers, we're all on the same team now. There's a hurricane, a flood. Oh, now we're all on the same team. But after everybody get back comfortable, you know, get on with it, back to a sense of normalcy, now it's, hey, I'm bored. Let me pick on the black folks. Yeah. So they want black folks to fix everything. Every time look, remember what happened when George Bush messed everything up? The youngster messed everything up. They called on the brother to come in and shake things up a little. Now, I'm not saying he did a great job, but he definitely did a better job than George Bush did. And he definitely did a better job than Trump did in his first term and his second term. in any event, y'all broke it. Y'all fix it. Yeah. What you looking for us for? Every time somebody have a big issue, when they want to march, when somebody's being done wrong, they looking around for the black folks. Well, y'all better help us, trying to shame black folks. But when it's on us, when we're going through it,
a lot of y'all may not agree with me, but those No King protests was nothing more but a TDS convention. It was a TDS networking event, okay? Everybody that literally has Trump derangement syndrome, they all met up with each other. They all walked up and down the street holding signs, and they accomplished absolutely nothing. The saddest part about it all is after all that time, energy, and resources that you all put into these protests, all of y'all woke up this morning and Donald Trump was still y'all president. And what was the point of the protest? Because at this point, it's starting to look like people are just having little obsession parades. That's actually what it's giving, right? But let's be honest. Where was all of this energy when Obama was in office and demanded us to get his health care or we would have to pay a fine, right? Where was the same energy at when Biden demanded us to get that thing in our bodies, right? Or we would lose our jobs. None of y'all had that same energy for them to, but y'all got all of this energy when it comes down to Donald Trump. Like I said before, those protests seem like a propaganda machine, right? Political networking and political photo shoots because there was no real protest, because there was no real impact. Let's make it make sense.
This is what I mean when I say that white people don't know how to protest, because you guys have never actually had to fight for anything if it included another group. Because why, I don't understand. Since when did it become the standard? Since when did Zephyr shut the fuck? Since when did it become the standard that how successful a protest is determined by how many people show up? If 100,000 people show up but y'all don't do shit, you didn't fucking do anything. If 1,000 people show up and you just walk up a street and walk back, you didn't fucking do anything. If you're in a protest that is collaborating with the police department on a Saturday so no one has to miss work or no one has to block traffic, then that's not a fucking protest. That's a goddamn parade. Any peaceful protest that occurs, at the very least, there must be a level of networking between the people who attend. But I know y'all aren't talking to each other. The last 2 times I went to these protests, everyone was in their own groups. Y'all weren't even loud for real. Look at all these videos. People aren't even yelling. They aren't really saying anything. They're just walking with a fucking poster board that they took 20 minutes to make at home from the fucking dollar store. What is going on? You guys aren't fellowshipping. You guys aren't building coalition. You guys aren't doing anything. You're just walking up a street and walking back just to say that you were there. And then on top of that, if you look at their website of demands, all of it is centered around Donald Trump. Why is Donald Trump at the center of oppression? These things have existed. These systems have existed long before then. And that's why all of these protests are just a sea of white faces, because it's full of people who have never listened to minorities a day in their life other than to boost their own fucking ego and social credit.
But let's be honest. Where was all of this energy when Obama was in office and demanded us to get his health care or we would have to pay a fine, right? Where was the same energy at when Biden demanded us to get that thing in our bodies, right? Or we would lose our jobs. None of y'all had that same energy for them to, but y'all got all of this energy when it comes down to Donald Trump. Like I said before, those protests seem like a propaganda machine, right? Political networking and political photo shoots because there was no real protest, because there was no real impact. Let's make it make sense.
Hey, white and brown liberals, if you're tired of black people calling you performative, saying that you're no different than your far-right counterparts, here's some shit that you can do to let us know that you're standing on business. First off, put Walmart and Target out of business. Yes, put them out of business. Don't shop there no more. Put them in the ground, 6 feet under, okay? Number 2, protest on a Wednesday. Do a back-to-back, do a Wednesday, Thursday. No costumes, no children, battle rattle, you know what I'm saying? Call out to work, you know what I'm saying? Because if you have that many people who don't go to work for 2 days throughout the week, that'll be impactful. Hell yeah. Also, you guys could beat the fuck out of some racists for us. That'll be cool. It don't even have to be at the parade. You ain't got to harm no officers or nothing like that. You guys know racists. You're local. Beat up your cousin. Beat up Billy Bob. He been talking shit about black people for 20 years. Beat him the fuck down and record it and put it on World Star so we know it's real.
Y'all, there is an amazing creator in here. I'll tag her below.
And she pointed out that the No Kings protest participants are literally just holding up pretty signs and walking from one place to another, and they're, guess what color they are? And the only people talking about it are, and she pointed out that they don't know how to protest, they don't know how to organize. They ignore the people who actually need help. They were passing by homeless people on the street and people in need. And yeah, I agree. I agree. They want the participation trophy for being at the protest and saying they did something. They don't want to do the actual work required to undo and outperform the systems of oppression that they've helped to create. Right? But the creator also said something I'm going to disagree with and argue against a little bit. She said that the white people don't know how to perform protests, don't know how to organize, and I want to argue that they know exactly what they're doing. Their nicety, their fetishization of protesting that has to be clean, palatable, nice, and a fun time like it's a parade is another version of oppression. Right? All these systems of oppression that they've created did not just pop out of nowhere. They were systematically designed and planned through many avenues that were created: law, religion, politics, education, social conditioning, coercion, building class systems, building literal racial hierarchy from the ground up where it didn't exist. So all of these were studied, they were funded with money, they were backed by societal pressure. So I don't think they are lost or confused about what it's going to take to fight the systems of oppression that they've helped build and the harm that they've helped reinforce. I don't think they want to give up the level of comfort that they have in order to fight for the people that they say they care about, but they don't. Yet again, they want us to do the work. People are in her comments talking about, oh, help us, we need your help, guide us, oh, guide us, tell us what we should do. You know what to do. You know what to do. There is no way you've gone through life, living this nice, cushy life, and not have observed the things around you to know what it took for you to live this ignorant version of life while other people suffer at your hands, whether you were actively participating in it or not. So no, that's what you want. We're not going to do the work for you. We already got our work to do to protect people that look like us, because apparently we only have us. Every single time we give you advice, we tell you what to do, you still don't do it, or you weaponize what we told you and use it against us. It doesn't make, why do you expect us to keep doing the work for you when you're just going to use it against us? You're only doing this for you because you're starting to feel the pressure of what it looks like when an entire society was built off of hate, racism, violence, and oppression. And now that it's starting to affect you, you care and you want to try to help, but you don't actually care to stop it. You just want to stop feeling bad about it. You just don't want to see it in your daily life. You just want it to be gone, which is why I believe you're performing a version of protest. You don't care. Therefore, I don't care about what you're doing. We got our own to protect.
No King's Day protests are performative, and why neoliberals cannot hide behind them anymore. A protest must have demands. If not, it's a parade. And when we look at the demands for the No King's Day protests, that's where there's a disconnect. Behind me are the demands and the reasons of the No King's Day protests. Mind you can find all this on their website. Pause to read, but I'll also be reading one small paragraph. Because this country does not belong to kings, dictators, or tyrants. It belongs to the people who care, who show up, and who fight for dignity, a life we can afford, and real opportunity. No thrones, no crowns, no kings. As a black woman and a leftist in America, this is where I have a big disconnect. Let's talk about this first. All of this is about Trump, when it should be about the system that allows Trump to even be in office. If Trump were to die, we would still have the same problems. The people who fund Trump's campaign also fund the Democrats' campaign as well. Black people have been killed and locked up in private prisons on a rate that has not stopped, way before Trump. And this is why I believe people do not listen to vulnerable communities, because vulnerable communities have been speaking about these issues before Trump was in office. Immigration has been an issue before Trump is in office. The transgenocide has been an issue before Trump has been in office. But when you make your focal point just Trump, you're ignoring all the people who have been under these circumstances way before Trump. And then let's talk about this. We the people have never ruled this country. This country has always been ruled by the upper class. Throughout American history, there's always been oppression. Without oppression, America would not exist. If you look at historically any productive protest or any productive movement, it's always had demands. And if those demands weren't met, they continue to disrupt protests and make life difficult. That is why organizing a protest on the weekend is not productive and is very performative, because the whole point of a protest is to disrupt people's day-to-day lives. If you look at how people are protesting ICE or are going into places that support ICE, they're disrupting. Another example would be the bus boycott movement, how they disrupted those white people's money, and also they did not stop until the demands were met. But the No King's Day protest has no demands, it's not disrupting anything, and if it did have demands, what would you guys do if they weren't met? I would rather people read and have a better understanding of the system that's been killing my people and vulnerable communities and minorities than attend a No King's Day protest. To understand and to care, you have to also decolonize, and that starts through understanding the systems that keep you colonized. Because once you have a better understanding of that system, then you'll actually be able to understand how to combat that system. The system cannot be changed through electoral politics. Fascism and imperialism can't be voted out, and it cannot be blamed on one person. When you look at the history of this country, we've always been on the wrong side of history. If you look at every single war, if you look at our ties with Israel, Qatar, the UAE, even if you look at how we've taught history, mind you, I'm 21 now, but I was not taught about my revolutionary heroes. I was not taught about revolution or mostly any black history in school. That right there should be the indicator for most people to understand that this is not just a Trump issue. This is not just a Republican issue or a Democrat issue. This is the system. This is the system that's continued to pillage, to profit off of genocide, and it's never stopped. If you're wondering how to become more informed about the systems that kill us, then I recommend reading something from the Black Radical tradition. It's a perspective that's really needed within these conversations, and a lot of people do not have that perspective. And I understand, a lot of us were not introduced to it, so that's why I'm recommending people to become introduced to it. Sometimes you need to put in the work yourself.
Now that the No Kings protests are over, what the fuck did y'all accomplish? You guys have been doing these protests for about a year now, and Donald Trump isn't king, but he still is your president.
I was chatting with a friend about the No Kings protest and how I feel, to be honest, it's low-key kind of performative. I haven't attended one. There's really no need for me to attend one. It feels more like a parade than anything else. Like, I don't really see any changes being made, or it just seems like something that you can go to and say, I did it, right? Which to me doesn't really feel like it's actual change, so therefore it's performative. That's just my personal take on it. I'm not sure if you guys feel the same exact way, but if it feels like a rally, it feels like any chance that you get to fight for something real, you'd rather look like you're fighting for it than actually fight for it, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I was just thinking about the No Kings protest, how it doesn't really sit right with me. Great in theory. It's just that the actual execution of it is really lackluster.
I'm sorry, but I don't think these No Kings protests are doing much of anything. Because it will literally be a protest that is happening over the weekend, and a bunch of people will show up for these No Kings protests, and they'll say there were record-breaking numbers of people that showed up in order to protest against the current system that we have running. But then, once the weekend is over, everyone will just go back to work and just go back to participating in this capitalistic system, and then commenting things like, but I still have to pay the bills, or do I still have to go to work? It's like, the thing is, that power is actually within the people. The people get to decide if we keep participating in this capitalistic system. And that actually is the issue. And I understand that there is, good intent behind the No Kings protest, but I just genuinely don't believe it's like making as big of a shift as people think it would make. And they keep happening, but again, it's happening on the weekends, which is already feeling like it's participation with the system, because it's like, that's when people are off of work. That's when people have the time to go ahead and do that. And then people having to get permits in order to protest. Like, it's all feeling like just more participation within the system. And like, the thing is, all of these people will go protest at the No King's Day protest, but then go back to work. And then say the same things about, why do we have to keep participating in this capitalistic system? When it's like, that's actually our power. Our power is the fact that we can stop participating in this capitalistic system and make a change very quickly. And I understand that people have all these different ideas about, people just quitting their jobs en masse and like we don't have unity in this country, whatever the case may be. Even if people are waiting for other people to start doing it, it's just like that is the issue. That is the core issue. So I don't really know if these No King's Day protests are doing much of anything at all. I'm just being honest.
Did it become the standard that how successful a protest is determined by how many people show up?
All right, I got my ugly shirt on. I just worked all day and I'm kind of ready to go to bed. But before I do, I wanted to touch on this because this video is making its rounds, and she is not the only person who feels this way. Now, before I say anything, I want to say that I may not 100% agree with her, but I'm about 89.9% on it. Because I also haven't been going to these protests. And the reason I haven't been going is because I did a little digging into finding out who were the original organizers when the first No Kings protest happened. And it ended up being an international thing. When I found out that some of the people were actually the people who were behind it are literally supporters of Rump and donators of Rump, it made me not go because I feared that it was a fake for something else. I feared it would be like a false flag of some kind. I feared that something drastic would happen out of it. But honestly, they have been very successful. They have gotten bigger and bigger every single time. But I do agree with what she said. Make sure you click on the stitch so you can understand what she's talking about, because she's not wrong. These are very much performative. If anything, they are more of a pressure release. Considering who started them, I feel like these are a pressure release because so much chaos is building up in the country that the stress would make the average citizen go pop, go boom. And that is a very realistic and understandable response considering what we are currently going through. But I had to play devil's advocate and I had to call a spade because she was saying, these are performative, and she was saying things about, it's because of white people and they don't know how to protest because they've never had to fight for anything in their life and blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's as simple as that. While I agree with some things that she was saying, I had to ask her in the comments, okay, well, what are you doing? Because what are you doing? Hell, what am I doing? I sat here and had an issue with who the orchestrators of it was, but I haven't found anything to do as an alternative. If you're going to complain about these, you need to have an alternative. But I can understand that is very hard to do. So I'm not trying to accost her in any way. I'm not trying to talk down on her. I very much agree with a lot of what she said. But I want to offer maybe an idea of a solution of some kind. Because I know that she's not the only one who feels that way. I know that I'm not the only one who feels the way that I feel about these protests. Although I am so proud of my people in this country. And I'm not just talking about black people. I am proud of the Americans for showing up and showing the hell out. It may not be the torch in the dark that we need it to be. It may not be the roaring fire of vengeance is mine, but it's a spark. It's a spark in the dark. The fact that, they're just making signs and putting on outfits, that's still hundreds of thousands of people who planned, who figured out what they were going to wear, who maybe put a little safety plan into it, who prepared for the day, who showed up, stayed there for hours. If a peaceful protest can show these levels of numbers, that these people are actually listening, paying attention, at least you know that with this happening, that means there's hundreds of thousands of people. They just want to say that they were there. A lot of people just wanted to show that they were there and just wanted to prove that they could go. But it doesn't have to stay that way. So if you agree with the girl who I'm stitching and you agree with me on reasons to not to go, maybe we all should form a reason to go, because she's right. There wasn't a lot of networking. Everybody was in their own private groups. That needs to change. So the next No Kings protest, people like us need to get out there and start talking to these people in the crowd. Start talking to protesters in the crowds. Let's get some emails. Let's get some phone numbers. Let's get some contact lists going, because we have an opportunity here that could be very much wasted if we allow it to be, but we could also use it for something amazing. If we could find a way to all network, talk with each other, form groups, and try to find a way to do something that might create some real change. So instead of complaining about it, I'm proposing that we figure out what we can do to make it better. What do you think?
Whoever is behind the 5501 that does this No Kings protest is going to have to see me with a hand. Because what do you mean that y'all having another No Kings protest in March? I am beginning to think, having seen the No Kings protest, having attended a No Kings protest, that whomever is the conglomerate or entity at the helm of these parades are literally there to derail actual resistance, actual movement. Let me just say, nobody needs any more speeches. Nobody needs anyone to be outside on a stage saying the obvious. And every No Kings protest that I've witnessed, nobody left with anything tangible to take with them. Not no next step, not even where to put your money and support grassroots efforts that are already in place. And it has become another way for white people to pat themselves on the back as though they have done something.
The No King's Day protests are not effective at all, period, point blank. You could argue that, it's bringing people together, it's, unity, it's a gathering for a cause, and yes, it's been, nice for people to fellowship, but a protest, you want results, right? And I saw another girl compare it to a parade, and I have to agree. There's people coming in costumes, there's people, dancing in the street. Again, it just gives a parade. Not to mention, like she said in her video, y'all are calling the police, you're having an organized protest, right? Letting the police know, hey, we're protesting, or we want to have a protest on this day. They're blocking off the streets for you, and you're staying within that confined area. You're not causing any type of disruption. And that is what has brought change. History shows that causing a disruption, messing with people's money, is what gets things going. When you think back to, what happened with George Floyd, they tore that city up. Period, point blank. They burned down the Target after stealing everything out of it. Even in Atlanta, they protested, broke out windows of multiple stores, looted. I don't care. I don't care if it's stealing. It got change, right? It got people talking. It got, results. Because now we're disrupting people. We're standing in traffic. We're blocking off roads. Now people can't get home. We're messing up everybody's day. Y'all want to kill us? We're going to mess up everybody's day. Now nobody can go home, right? Even when you think back to the civil rights movement and how black people protested and boycotted, we messed with people's money. That's what we did. My grandpa even talks about, how in Tennessee, they wouldn't let black people come inside of restaurants. You have to order at the back door to get your food. And one day, all the black people went and got in the restaurant, or went in the restaurant and sat and wouldn't leave. And wouldn't leave. It says we're only worthy of the back door. Can't nobody eat here. We're messing with y'all pockets. And that is what has brought change. Look what black people did to Target when they ended DEI, right? After pandering to our community. Look what black people did. There's been a lot of commentary about black people not showing up to protests, and how, we were there for Black Lives Matter. Why aren't y'all here protesting deportation? Why aren't y'all out here for the No King's Day protest? Because we protested with our vote, for one. And we're tired. We're going to sit back and just let y'all handle it. But take notes from our protest, right? It's not enough to just say, let's all meet up here and let the police know that we're coming, and so they can block off the roads and we can dance in the street. No, you need to cause some type of disruption.
Yeah, white people are so performative because, was that a festival? Was it arts and crafts festival? Was it a parade? Because, what? It makes you wonder, do they know how to do anything without us? Because, what are you demanding? You're just out there together. But, what are you demanding? But whatever, because we're not getting involved. I didn't know about it until I hopped on Twitter and I saw all the photos. And I'm like, oh, boy. The ancestors are really protecting our spirit, because I genuinely didn't even know that was happening, and I follow politics. I follow the news. How did I not even know these protests were happening?
Can I just ask, guys, what is the No Kings protest for? Can someone this isn't funny. Can someone explain what's supposed to happen? I'm actually being dead ass. Is the No Kings protest is that that's against Trump, obviously, but guys, he doesn't gaff. I promise you, Trump doesn't care about y'all protesting on a Sunday, on a Saturday, on the weekend. Y'all are still going to work on Monday. Y'all are still paying your taxes next week. Y'all are still paying off your credit card bills. Trump doesn't care that you're marching down the street with your approved protest with the government. He knows it's happening. The people know what's going on. This isn't a protest. This is a barbecue with picket signs. And of course everyone's gonna be what are you doing? All you do is critique. And it's y'all, black people, we're sitting this one out. just follow the Black Panthers. Like, if y'all want any of our help, we've already given y'all the blueprint. Just follow us. But wait, you won't. Like, I'm so happy people are out and about, like, saying how they feel, but it's like, are y'all gonna, like, live by it? Or are we just gonna keep, like, they don't care. Like, they're on flights.
I made this video before, but I'll make it again. It is your God-given right to protest. Don't let anybody hop online and be like, oh my God, you're performative for going to a certain type of protest on a Saturday. Like, some people do work, some people have real lives. We're all, like, strapped for cash right now. And if someone went out of their way to protest in this day and age, I'm not gonna be mad at them. And there's a lot of privileged people that's coming on TikTok and on the internet, you know, that I think really haven't been to a protest before. Are just, you know, the loudest people in the room right now. And I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Like, how dare you? How dare you come after someone else protesting and, you know, actually using their time productively? And to some degree, No King's protest might be somewhat performative. Yes, they do have its issues, but they are a catalyst to get people to come out and protest, which is a good thing. We shouldn't be, like, trying to shut that down. Like, just because they didn't do it in a way that we thought they should do it. They're still there. They're still doing it. In a time where everyone is telling you that protesting doesn't do anything at all, I'm not gonna sit here and discourage people for showing up to an organized protest. Like, y'all, if y'all want to organize a big protest yourselves, then go out and do that. But let's not criticize one of the biggest, you know, forms of protest right now, organizations, I guess. I just feel like it's stupid. And if they do something that's worth being like, okay, like, we shouldn't protest with those guys again, but I don't know. But like, really the claims are they're performative and that's about it. So it's like, and for the people like, yeah, you should skip work and protest on a Wednesday. I have not seen you at a motherfucking protest. I have not seen you at a protest. And you want people to miss work so they don't look performative to you behind a screen on the internet. Man.
So I just watched Bill Maher, and he had a few black folk on. Don't really know their name. They're not changing the world, so I'm not going to try to learn their names. You look it up. But my big thing was, he was saying, Bill Maher, that he was looking at the No Kings protest and then noticed eventually that there was a lack of black people there and for support for the No Kings protest. And the guest that he had, I'm pretty sure he's important, but I don't know that man. I'm sorry to that man and the people on there. But like I said, they're not changing the world. Complicit. But I'm not here to bash them. I'm here to say, how can white people expect black people to come out and fight for something that ain't got shit to do with us no more? You know what I mean? Anyone really that's black, why would you think we're gonna come out? No one was there to help us. George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, can I keep? And it's not just about like, oh, just helping the black community. All these years, the civil rights movement, all this stuff wasn't for the black people. It was because of black people, everyone else is able to do what they're doing. And now everyone is established, and then the black people are left down in the dirt. We don't even have businesses in our own community. That's really where it's at. So to think, because I had this conversation honestly today with a white gentleman, older gentleman, and he was saying the same thing, you know, why aren't black people, you know, black. And I was like, black people, and I was like, here. Let me just be very clear with you. You can't ask us, black people, to help develop and continue to push forward, and you won't give us a seat at the table, okay? Politics, business, we don't have anything equitable on a mass scale, conglomerate for black people globally, black Americans especially, to have control over. So to want everything else from us, and you won't even give us a seat at the table, it's not happening. I told him straight up, we don't have black business owners in our own communities. We don't have black entrepreneurs. We don't have black landowners, but you want the black voice and power and money. No, babe. Get someone else to do it. You do it. And I straight up told him, I was like, y'all need to come together and figure this shit out. And when y'all figure that out, then we will figure out what we want to do next. But it's definitely going to have to come with us being a part of the global power. And I said flat out, until then, good luck. Because we're going to be good, and we always have been. Now let that be known. We always have. The Great Depression, it was the depression for white people, babe. Harlem Renaissance, same time. Do your research.
They're looking for black people. I saw a clip on Bill Maher about how for the No Kings protest, there was a reporter in Baltimore in Maryland that he was trying to find black people in the crowd, and they couldn't really find any black people in the crowd. And Bill Maher saying how like the protest was pretty much white. Shit, I was at homecoming. People were dancing, having a good time. Like, there ain't much we can do. We did 92%. We did it at the polls. There's nothing much we could do right now. So why are you checking for us? Please stop. And then there was an unk on there who was saying, like, we had a meeting, which we did. We had a meeting pretty much saying we're going to sit our little self down and mind our business because our protest was November 5th. There's no reason why. I get why people are protesting. We get it. The country is shit. Like, and why do y'all need us? We've been doing most things. We've been the front lines, like protesting. Like they've been sending dogs on us, like beating us, arresting us, like killing us. All that happens. But you notice with the No Kings protest, like I didn't really see much of that. It was peaceful. A lot of people show up. Again, amazing. But when we said we were going to sit down, we're so disappointed in this country. Like, we're always going hard and trying to be the front line of everything. So hard. We're trying to tell all these other races, like, don't vote for him. This is what happened. Vote for, peace. And y'all did not. So why are you talking about, I noticed that's not enough black people. Why are you always looking for us? So we can get killed?
So I have 2 videos for you to show how Democratic leaders do not care about how crazy their people look. Here's the first one.
City here today, but it's mostly people who look like you and I, and I just
It is not for black people, for people of color to get out on the street. They're at risk when they do that. If anybody's going to get arrested here, it's going to be a black person. It is not safe for them, and they don't need to participate. We need to walk in their name.
Again, these activists need to come up with an excuse. The answer can't possibly be that black people are a little frustrated with how they have been weaponized into a political system. The answer can't possibly be that it is becoming more and more clear that the Democrat Party is far more concerned about illegal immigrants and other issues than the black community. Can't be any of those things. It has to be that we are all cowering in our homes, just deathly afraid that a police officer is going to come and get us. And so,
what's really sad is I kind of feel for the lady. Like, I feel like I know what she meant. I don't think they're trying to, I think they really care about black people. They think they do.
Of your own shit if that would help get Trump out. If I had to, I would. How much shit would you be willing to eat, like actual logs? I'll do within reason what I have to do. Like if it was a full dump truck that's starting to get out of control? No, I'm definitely not going to eat a whole dump truck. What if it was just like a smaller car, like an Aztec or something like that, and the trunk was just full of the shit for your country? Eat a little bit just to show that I do not like the man. What's the most you'd eat, like a bowl? Maybe a bowl, yeah.
This is getting messed up. And people are coming out of retirement and they're guilting, they're demanding with empathy, like have some empathy and go walk for the No Kings. Oh man. They don't even care. They don't even care. They don't care how crazy the Democrats look anymore.
At the end of the day, this is not just about a protest, it's about people's safety and priority. Many are asking who show up when it's a really matter, and the other are saying, well, they've done enough. Now it's time to take care of ourselves. What do you think about this situation? Should the Black American continue reading this movement, or it is time to step back? Let me know your thoughts in the comment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates. See you in the next episode.